Today is day 22 of designing a spooky island in 30 days using no Nintendo Online. Yesterday, we did a lot. We got a lot done with the neighborhood, but today I think I kind of want to switch gears a little bit because I do have an idea actually today. And it's an idea for the back of the island. I've been kind of going back and forth and trying to figure out what my plan is. And here is the thought that I have for the back section of the island. At least like the back middle where the campsite is. What I'm thinking is the front of the island is like a very happy Halloween farm town. Like they've just been decorating for Halloween, right? But I want the back where the campsite is to be completely monochromatic, like black and white, almost like drained of life feeling. Now, there are some pros and cons to me doing this. I thought of it because I wanted to have a use for my white pumpkins that I've been collecting, but then at the same time, I don't know if I have too many white pumpkins. So if I do it, I'm probably gonna have to start collecting a lot more materials, and we'll probably just get started on it today. Like there's no way I'm gonna be able to finish it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go through my pockets. I'm gonna clear out some things that I don't need, grab the things that I think that I do need. And this is one of the most difficult parts for me in all of this is the amount of times that I have to like come back in my house, go to my storage, get stuff, crafting things. I'm so used to going to treasure islands and just getting what I need. Crafting everything yourself is a little bit draining. There's also the issue of, I don't know why they did it this way, where I have to craft with my orange pumpkins first. That's why I've been doing just a lot of the basic orange stuff, because in order to get any other color, you basically have to use double the resources. I don't want to have to use double. So I'm just crafting a bunch of spooky trees. I'm going to make some spooky towers as well. And at this point, I'm really just kind of trying to get the vibe for what I'm doing, because I do think this is going to be a pretty big build and I'm going to need a lot more resources. And I think it's going to be the focal point of the back part of the island. I have the campsite, which will be this, and then I have the museum, which I'll probably do something different with that section. But then everything else I think is just going to be like natural woodsy for absolutely no specific reason at all. I just think the island would look great having a forest on it. And it has nothing to do with the fact that that will take limited effort and fill up a lot of space. I don't know yet about the trees here, if I want to have a combination of cedar and hardwood trees or just have the cedar trees. I'm leaning towards a combination just because, I don't know, only cedar trees, it's just hard to do. Like it just feels very samey. And not the same way that a hardwood tree feels if you do a bunch of those. I don't know. Me and cedar trees just have issues. I'm also going back and forth here trying to figure out how exactly you're going to approach this area. Because if I vault directly across, that is where Nook's Cranny is. So you're not going to come straight forward when you come over here. There's not going to be a bridge directly across. You're going to kind of have to come in from the left. And I think that changes how I will design the area, because otherwise I would just have like a big grand entrance. But because you're having to navigate from one side, I just kind of have to change how I'm doing it. I've added in just a couple spooky trees, and I think this is going to work. Like I know this is really nothing. I've done nothing, but I think it's going to look good. It's going to be a lot of work because in order to make a spooky forest, which is what this is going to be, in order to give it the full effect, it really needs to be full. So I'm going to have to get a ton of items, but I think it's going to look good. I actually really like the monochromatic look of these pumpkins back here, especially if it gets dark or if it's raining and they're lit up back here. It's gonna look so good. I'm also eventually gonna have to figure out how you get up onto the second level where the campsite is. I'm leaning towards just having a ladder up. Is that being too lazy? I just don't know if I want an incline. After vaulting back and forth a couple times, I have decided that I wanna have another bridge. I don't have the money for the bridge, but I am going to go ahead and place it. And it's right here, which is kind of behind resident services. And I think this will work perfect for what I'm doing, because you can either go to the left, which will be the direction of the spooky campsite forest, or you can go to the right, which will be the museum. If I can get like an angled signpost or something, that could look really cute on the other side, but I don't think I have that DIY yet. Now, as far as the paths go, I did have an idea. If I grab the Island Designer app, I'm only using the in-game paths, which is limiting, especially when you're doing something like this. But I think what I'm gonna do is actually have a path that goes from the bridge and then to the right, and then that'll lead to the museum. And then I'll have the path going to the left, and then I'll have bits and pieces of path that kind of lead you through this curved tunnel section, like through the cliffs, and it goes back to the secret beach. And I think it'll give the effect that the path kind of got worn down and broken up. Obviously, if I was using custom paths, this would probably look a million times better, but I don't know. It's kind of fun to use the in-game paths and just see what you can make work with them. Another thing I need to do is clear out some of these flowers. I don't think that I want any roses on my island. I especially will not be using pink or red or even the yellow. Like if I was gonna keep any of them, it would be the white ones. But I'm gonna just clear them out, get rid of them, and eventually I'll get rid of all of them, but for now I'm just gonna work on this one section. I did time travel forward a day just so some of my trees would grow in, and the money spot happens to be on my path here, so that's nice. I am gonna grab that, I'll go bury it. I will never not take the time to fill in my money spot if it's just sitting there right in front of me. Now, because I can't stay focused, I have noticed a few things as I've been running through. I've got flowers that are growing onto the path, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean those up. I've been filling in my meadow area a little bit. It is nice to kind of do these tasks to take a break from a bigger build that I'm doing, just because it can be draining just looking at the same area for a long period of time. Even though I really haven't done that much yet. I stopped in Nooks and I found this examination room desk and I had the idea, I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna try to put it back in my spooky forest because I also have the little bones item and I have the tombstone item, which I think is called like a Western style stone. And I'm thinking, what if I typically don't do like lore or anything for my islands because I'm just simply not that creative. But like, what if this person is staying in the campsite in the back of the island and they're like researching the villagers who live at the front of the island and they're conducting all these experiments and that's like their research table and then they've just got all of these bones and that feels creepy, okay? I think I'm finally getting the spooky section. This is one of the big spooky builds. I found the perfect place for the desk right here next to the campsite. I don't think I'm gonna focus too much on this spot right here today, but just know that eventually I would like to have like camping stuff. I wanna have a chair for the desk. Like I want it to feel lived in right here, that there's someone actually like living here, working on stuff, and they're just doing these weird experiments. I dug up a couple more flowers. I went ahead and sold those. Now I need to customize some of the items I have already into the monochromatic version. And I think at this point, I'm kind of running out of items and I'm really gonna have to work on getting more stuff before I'm gonna be able to do much more. I grabbed the creepy skeleton things. And I'm also going to go ahead and make the Western style stones and I wanna customize them to the mossy version. Ooh, I placed my first tombstone. It looks so good. I really like this. I think once it's full and like overgrown feeling, it's gonna look really good. This skeleton item is just so good. I love it so much. I think that was a 2.0 item, wasn't it? All right, I know it doesn't feel like much running through here. It's only a few items, but for me, I can see the vision. I know what I'm trying to do, and I just know that I have a lot more work to do on this specific area, but I just feel good knowing the direction that it's going. So now officially, I think things are starting to get spooky on the island. I hope y'all are feeling the same way. We'll just have to see how tomorrow goes, and when that episode is ready, it'll be on the screen for you to click on right now.